Hello, everyone, and welcome to Feel Good Fridays with Pastor Kristin on this Friday after Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday, no matter how it was that you were able to celebrate this year. If your group was much smaller than usual, or however you celebrated that day of giving thanks, I hope it was a blessed day for you. Today, maybe some of you are continuing to enjoy a little holiday time. Maybe some of you are back at work. For me, I am starting that process of shifting from Thanksgiving into Advent. Here in our house, we typically don't begin to think about or at least at home, I'm doing lots of thinking about Advent and Christmas at work. But at home, we tend to keep our house pretty Thanksgiving focused until after Thanksgiving. So this is the weekend that we will begin to make that shift to putting up some Christmas decorations and starting to think about Advent and Christmas and see a little transformation in our house to reflect that. I'm not sure if maybe some of you have started that already. Maybe you started it weeks ago because you just needed that little bit of joy in your day and all around you with Christmas lights and everything else. But as we are heading into this first Sunday of Advent, that is what I have on my mind today. And so I wanted to teach you a little song that we are going to be using as a part of our lighting of the Advent wreath. At All Saints this year, since we are all worshiping from home, we have some All Saints members who are inviting us into their homes to share their Advent candle lighting traditions with us and to help us with that moment in worship. And so as a part of that, we are also going to kind of close that part of our worship service each Sunday with a little song that fits in with the prayers that we are doing with the candles. And so this year, we are talking about our God of hope, our God of peace, our God of joy, and our God of love. And so we're going to sing a little song. We're going to change the words just a little bit so that they fit with those four. But it's a song called He Came Down. Maybe you are familiar with it, maybe not. But the words are really easy. And I just thought I would give you a little heads up and a little practice maybe before worship on Sunday. It's a really easy song. He came down that we may have hope. He came down that we may have hope. He came down that we may have hope. Alleluia forevermore. So I invite you to sing with me as you catch on. He came down that we may have hope. He came down that we may have hope. He came down that we may have hope. Alleluia forevermore. That easy. Let's try it again. He came down that we may have hope. He came down that we may have hope. He came down that we may have hope. Alleluia forevermore. And then each week we will add another verse. And so we will celebrate that Christ came down that we may have peace. And that we may have joy, and that we may have love. So we're going to sing Love to close out our singing time together, but eventually we'll be singing all four of those verses together. He came down that we may have love. 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 Alleluia forevermore. Alleluia forevermore. Alleluia forevermore. So I also wanted to share a little verse with a few verses with you, as I usually do as a part of Feel Good Friday. And these verses are probably pretty familiar to most of us from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Love is patient, love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, and we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now we see in a mirror, dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part, then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. And the greatest of these is love. And so as we celebrate that Christ came to bring us hope and peace and joy and love, we celebrate that God gives us all of those gifts, those great and wonderful gifts. I hope that you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Well, that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, but that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, and look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning as we gather for worship on this first Sunday in Advent. Have a great weekend, everyone.